Hi everybody, welcome to another career tutorial. I'm cripeman. What we're going to do this time through is we're going to make a Christmas tree. And we're going to do it in two parts. We're going to make the tree and we're going to make the lights. And then I'm going to leave the ornaments up to you because decorating the tree is pretty much most of the fun of dealing with Christmas trees. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, let's go ahead and drop a plant into our scene. And plant is the tree. And let's go ahead and do the trunk width. Let's crank that down a little bit. And Christmas trees are pretty thin. You can normally get your hand around the trunk of the tree, so do the trunk width. Decay is fine. Length is the space from the ground to the first branches. So let's go ahead and just push in 2. And our bottom branches drop to the closer to the ground. Philitoxy angle. That's the angle that your branches go around the trunk. The default value is fine, actually. Go ahead and push symmetry though, so that it's distributed evenly around your tree. You know what? We might want to crank this 1, 2, 5. Yeah, that's fine. And it's a little bit closer to what we want it to be. Internodal length. If you crank this up and down, at least on my machine, Carrera, it takes a lot. It starts to stagger a little bit. So make sure that you want your internodal length is where you want it. That's the space between the branches. Let's see. 0.04 is the default value. 0.10 is a pretty dramatic change. See that? So let's leave it at 0.04. And the smaller the value, the smaller the distance between your branches. Evolution is fine. Let's go ahead and crank this a little bit so we can check this out. See how it there gets to be more branches at the top of the tree. Go ahead and crank that down a little bit. Yikes. There we go. There we go. That's more like it. Everything else is cool. Let's go ahead and jump into the branches part. And we can bring the length down a little bit. Your minus values are going to trim your tree a little bit. It's going to bring your branches down. See that? Everything else seems to be cool. Let's go ahead and jump to the leaf part. We're going to choose a leaf. And there are 2 different options here that you can pick for this. You can pick the fir needle, which is going to give you a Charlie Brown looking Christmas tree and not very many needles, or you can do the fir tree, which is better. And you see how the leaves are angled around the branches. That's kind of what you want. Generations of leaves. Everything around everything here is actually pretty cool. Make sure it's symmetric so that you have the same needles on either side of your branches. Leaves quantity. If you want a really full tree, crank that up. If you want it to be, some spaces that you can see, which is kind of ideal, leave it there. Let's crank it up to show you what we got. See how many more leaves we got, or needles. So yeah, 3's fine. Let's do 4. There we go. 4's fine too. Just you don't want to overdo it, really. I mean, if you want a really full tree, sure, but you kind of want to see the branches a little bit. It looks more natural. Everything is fine. Everything's the way we want it. So let's go ahead and do the tree shape. And the tree shape is going to be conical. Christmas trees are coniferous trees, and that means that they eat meat. No, it doesn't mean they eat meat. It means that they're cone-shaped. So we want to make it cone-shaped, conical. There it goes. And everything's cool there. You can kind of bring it down a little bit if you want. That's going to kind of drop your branches. But overall, everything's cool there. And you don't need to mess with the expert tabs at all. Let's go ahead and, if you want to do a preview, you can do it. You can render it, or you can do a tree preview and then render. and you can see that that's pretty much what we want. Let's go ahead and jump out, and let's do a render in our scene. And that's a pretty decent looking Christmas tree. That's you know, it's pretty natural looking and all that. Let's go ahead and mess with the colors a little bit. The colors of your Christmas tree are going to be darker actually than what the default values are. You can bring that down a little bit. And we're going to bring this down a little bit. Let's go ahead and copy. Actually, we can copy this whole thing and throw some bumps in there too. You know, experimenting with your values here are going to give you a much more natural looking tree, but we're kind of going for the quick fix right here. So let's see what we got here. Yikes. Alright, and you can overdo it. Let's see what we do here. Color. Let's bring that up a little bit. That's a little too much. Paste and paste. Let's check it out. Oh, you know what I did? Yeah, I should have just done the color. Trunk. See, if you paste, you need to kind of watch what you're doing here. See, this only did branch 2. Branch 1. Now let's see what we got. There we go. Now everything's kind of brown. Now, that's the Christmas tree part of it. Let's go ahead and center this some. That's the Christmas tree part of it. Play with your values a little bit. You can make this tree as much a part of what you want it to be, just by playing with it a little bit. So anyway, that's it for this part of it. Part 2 of the tutorial starts now.